Everyone in the world is going through this. You wanted to be a business owner. Now's your time to be a business owner. Even though your original idea didn't work, how can you persevere and transition and get creative during the hardest portions of that business and really think outside the box on what you can do?
What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at eXp Realty, here with another episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. I've got a very exciting guest here with me, Kasey Wilkinson with MHK Play Studio. It is a play-based learning studio here in Manhattan. Kasey, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited to jump in and kind of see hear what you have to give to us and talk to us a little bit about what MHK Play is. Tell us what motivated you to create a play-based studio like this here in Manhattan.
Sure, absolutely. So I am from a very small town in Western Kansas. Community has always been very important to me. And coming to Manhattan, going to Kansas State University, I specialized in early childhood. I've been working in that field for 20 years now. And about 9 years ago, I went to a business mentor at the chamber. I felt there was something lacking in regards to community, young families and children, and just creating a space for our community to connect with one another. And so about 2 years later, he came back to me and he said, you know that crazy idea you had? Now's the time to do it. And so that's when I started working and opening up a new space.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, and it's been a lot of fun. So, tell us about that history with that, right? I want to know, because you started with IE Discoveries, and then transition. So, talk to us about what that transition looked like from IE to MHK Play.
Sure. So I dove in and opened IE Discoveries in 2019. And really was excited about just starting out in a smaller space to see if we could make it work. And lo and behold, COVID hit. A great time to start a new business, especially one that is really new to the nation. There wasn't a lot of play studios or parent spaces. And so we started down that path and just in a 2,100 square foot space. And COVID hit, we closed, we transitioned. We stayed open somehow. I think that's where I really had to start going to the hair salon again, getting my hair done. And our lease was coming up. And so it was a position of, do we stay small or do we get bigger and grow, which had always been my vision. And we looked at this space again, I think for the 5th time, and it just really hit all of the things that we wanted to expand and do. And so I took a great big leap and moved into this larger facility behind Target. And as many that have lived here, it's known as the famous Dave spot, and I'm okay with that. And so we took a big leap and expanded in a lot of ways in this space.
You've transitioned to the bigger space. You've gone into a lot of this one, and it's been a huge leap of faith, right? And what are some of the key values and principles that MHK Play Studio brings to what you're doing here in Manhattan?
Sure. So one of the biggest things about our community is the transient community between the military installation and Kansas State University. And so one of our key values is connecting families together and providing a new cultural experience around play. And, you know, that's one thing that we pride ourselves on is new families coming in that just moved here, and we connect them to the resources that exist for children and families, whether it's parents as teachers or infant toddler services or another, you know, a library or another family that just moved here. A lot of the families that have been a part of our story still follow us on social media. They still come back to us and comment and say, we sure miss you guys. And I really pride ourselves on creating that community of space for individuals, even if they're here for a short time, and really diving into the play-based aspect. In today's modern world with technology, we see a lot of children and a lot of adults stuck to a screen, and we've lost that emotional and social connection. And so our space is low tech. We don't have modern technology. It's hands-on learning, it's play-based learning, and really getting parents and children to connect with those objects around them and even animals around us.
Yeah. As we're surrounded by chickens and birds and fish, and I don't even know what's in that one over there.
Gecko. Yep.
Oh, a gecko, even better.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think that, I agree. I mean, that's a lot of families, a lot of people just shove a screen in the face and say, yeah, just get away from me. And that's not a good thing. MHK Play has the play-based learning. Again, obviously we're talking a little bit about that. Can you give us an overview of all the different activities and programs and everything that you guys do, and how does that cater to kids of all ages?
Sure. Which is part of our tagline, play for all ages, which some don't really understand how an adult would engage in this space. But we obviously offer play 6 days a week. We're open normally 9 to 6, depending on what we have going on. And families can just drop in and play. Yeah. No structure, just enjoy your time here, whether it's freezing outside or really, really hot like today is. And then we have classes. So those are probably where one of my passions, and Lindsay, our director of education, really focus, is the ability to connect with families on an ongoing basis. We have Ishy Squishy classes. That's probably one of our favorites, with parents and children, where they just get messy, and everything's connected to literacy as well. We have art classes. She just started a new class yesterday called Fairy Creations. So those whimsical fairy tales are coming into play. We offer birthday parties and private events. Our new sip and snack, which is part of that larger space that we have. We've done bridal showers, we've done baby showers. So just another private event could be hosted here that's not geared towards children per se. We have our sip and snacks, so we really wanted to dive into fancy mocktails, so the ability the children get to have something special to drink. The first time that we tested it out was at a New Year's event, and we had pomegranate seeds in the drinks and sparkling water, and one of the kiddo, I'll never forget, he came up and he goes, "This is for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's for you, buddy." And he goes, "Mom, this is for me, not for you." And so we really want to expand on that and offer some snacks and coffee. We do team building events. So I work and travel nationally doing engagements with schools and teachers. And so I wanted to bring that hands-on learning to adults here as well. So offering a team building event for your office staff, or just a team bonding experience. And then we also have summer camp, which is what kept us alive during COVID, is getting licensed as a school-age program. And they are here this summer. We're doing an outdoor program fully, which is the same. They don't have modern technology. So when we have other camps come visit us, one of the biggest things they say is, "I can't believe how creative these kids are," because we don't have them sitting in front of a screen. They literally are outside exploring and learning about nature. So we have those, and then we do other events as well. We always are happy to have practicum students or interns from the university. So we have an intern again this summer in hospitality, and she's hosting and partnering with a lot of different businesses around the community to host special events.
Yeah. No, and that's.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, and that's great, right? And it's true, because, like I said, my son was here last summer, and he's loved being outside all summer long, and had a great time. So, no, I love that about what you guys do here. And again, the lack of technology is my favorite part. So I know that you guys incorporate a lot of STEAM and a lot of that kind of stuff with that. Can you elaborate a little bit about what that looks like for MHK Play?
Yeah, so that's one of our founding principles or visions for this space as well, is focusing on the science, technology, engineering, art, and math aspect. All of the materials that you see or engage with here really foster that STEAM approach and allowing creativity with children. So the company that designs and produces these materials that you see in the Play Studio, I actually have the opportunity to work with them. And so we do a lot of testing of materials here. Prototyping will get shipped to us, and we'll test it out and see if it meets safety requirements. If we really look at, and I draw my philosophy from Montessori and Reggio Emilia, which is an Italy approach. Yeah. And so we really look and see, is it open-ended enough. And when we say open-ended enough, we as adults tend to look at things very black and white. We get out of that creative phase. And so if I as an adult can sit down and engage with that material or product and come up with at least 10 ways that I would use it, and then being in the field of early childhood, can I envision what Jack would do with it? And would he do 13 more things? And would Emily do 10 more things? Then it probably is going to be open-ended. There's multiple ways to use it. You don't push a button and something happens. You really are seeing so many opportunities to use it. And then when we see children using it, normally what happens is I realize that they look at it completely different and use it in a completely different way and add 10 to 20 more things in it. So we really pride ourselves in problem solving and using materials. And you have a problem in your play. What material or how could you solve it? And is there only one way to solve it, or are there multiple ways to solve it? And that really leads into the 21st century skills that has been molded from a national level of communication, collaboration. And when we look as a workforce now, are we looking at someone's degree certificate, or what questions are we asking them in an interview? And those are the things that we can foster in a play studio and at a younger age, and in our team building experiences.
Yeah. Well, and it's changed so much, right? From the 50s, when the 40s and 50s, when it was all created, right? But our school system's changed, our kids have changed, and everyone's
Absolutely. Different.
So, no, I love that that's the concept that you guys are taking here too, because it's such an important piece of adult life and children too, included. So no, I love it. You mentioned earlier in the video that you came from a small community. You came through all that kind of stuff, and that's what you love about Manhattan is our community feel. So how does MHK Play Studio really kind of work with our local community and engage and collaborate with other small businesses, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so one of the things that I, even as a starting business owner with IE Discoveries, the challenges of a brick and mortar facility can be really hard. Yeah. And so one of the things that we do here to support other businesses and our community is we partner with them. So this summer we've had Chapter 5 yoga, and they've done classes with children and adults. We've partnered with Dobro in our sip and snack before, and have brought in cinnamon rolls or other things that they can bring in. And we've also we have some food trucks that'll come in every once in a while, so a lot of fun there. We also like to give back to our community, which is probably one of the biggest things that you can do to foster your community. So we sponsor tons of events in this town. We give donations. We have acted as a host site for someone that's just getting started and isn't ready for that brick and mortar, but they need a space. So we have an individual that sells books, and so she'll come in and do a book drive where families can come in and purchase different children's books. Paint and sip. So we've done events where they can come in and host their own paint and sip class. One of our other big partners is Pacheco Beef. So we have a cooler here of Pacheco Beef, and anyone can come in and purchase beef. And then we've partnered with them. They've done tortilla making classes for fraternity Moms Weekend, and then we've done some children classes as well with them. So just thinking outside of the box of ways that we can support other small businesses in a space that supports community.
Yeah. No, it's part of this series, right? I think the way that our small businesses support each other, I think it's a fantastic, and one of my favorite parts about Manhattan in general. Absolutely. So starting any business, you're going to run into challenges with setting up, getting running, getting going. Obviously, you talked a little bit about COVID. I'm sure that's always really good for that. But talk to us about your personal insights of that, right? What did that look like when you were setting up and getting going? What were some of your challenges?
I think, that's a great question. As a small business owner, I think the challenges are always vast, and there's groups that obviously and mentors that I communicate regularly with, but every story is unique. I can say that the COVID portion of our story was probably the most challenging, and there was a very distinct day where I was going to close. We were going to end the story there. I tried. And I remember finally making all the phone calls and notified my parents, and my husband obviously supported me in this. And I got a call 2 hours later from my dad, who's a farmer rancher, and he said, "Young lady, pull up your bootstraps. Everyone in the world is going through this. You wanted to be a business owner. Now's your time to be a business owner." So one of the biggest things that I always look at is, even though your original idea didn't work, how can you persevere and transition and get creative during the hardest portions of that business and really think outside the box on what you can do? And that's been probably our story all along. I've told everyone that works with me, we're going to try something, and if it doesn't work, failure is part of our story. It doesn't mean that it ends. It just means we learned something.
Yeah.
And so what can we take from something that didn't work and make it a learning experience, not only for children, but for us as adults? And that's really how we approach our day-to-day. And I don't think I've ever looked at any of them and said that was terrible, because 9 times out of 10, they can say, well, that didn't work because of this. And I'm like, great, so how can we change it? How can we make it better? Which goes back to our STEAM philosophy in the first place.
I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. Is like, that's exactly what this is all about. It doesn't work this way. Okay, let's try something different. So, no, that's fantastic. You've persevered, right? You hit the bottom and said, okay, I've got a springboard from here. What does the future look like for MHK Play?
Well, if you asked my husband, he would say I have 483 phases. And sometimes he has to check me and say, just focus on the next phase right now. Yep. I think that was the beauty of this property, of moving here, is that there are so many opportunities for growth. We sit on 7 acres, and so the trees behind us, we've created walking paths. We have nature classes that explore those walking paths throughout the year. Our STEM camp obviously uses it. And so the other thing that we really, Lindsay and I are both very passionate about, is nature learning and being outdoors and teaching in a much different way than sitting at a table or a desk. So that is definitely one that we are leaning into a lot more and trying to expand. You know, we got our one of our outdoor spaces turfed, just so that way we had a larger space that was easy to maintain for outdoor exploration. We continue to grow with our community partnerships, and really wanting more partnerships on a more permanent basis would be great. There's a couple of retail folks or local authors, children's books authors, that we have in our retail space. Nice. So just growing that partnership and community aspect, new classes, new events. And the other thing is, anyone knows that about this property is we have a huge space that's not being utilized. And so one of the ways from a business perspective to make it work is, oddly enough, I bought another business and we are moving in an automated spa into that side. So just even expanding on community and families and mindfulness and wellness, which is so important especially after COVID. Yeah. And the research coming out of, we all experience some sort of trauma. How do we heal from it, right, from a long-term perspective? So I'm really into wellness and supporting your body. I may not practice it as well. I'm really good at talking about it, but I don't always practice it. But just creating another space for families or adults to engage in. That's a little bit different than what they're used to. Yeah.
And that's going to go right off the kitchen side, right? So you can have that now. So now it's a go to your spa and drop your kids at the play studio. So no, that's perfect. I mean, it doesn't work this way. Let's try it this way. Mm-hmm. So I think it goes into your philosophy in general. So it's fantastic. A 2-part question here is, number one, if someone's here, someone sees this video, how do they get a hold of you? Do they walk in? Do they call? Do they set an appointment? What does that look like? And then number 2 is, how does the community support your vision for MHK Play, and what does that look like?
Sure. So we are open 6 days a week, and for the most part, you can just walk in and play. We have no restrictions, no appointment required. Just come and play with your family. Otherwise, we do have our website, mhkplaystudio.com. We have our social media, Instagram and Facebook, which is where a lot of people communicate with us. And so in this modern age, I'm really good at trying to respond as quickly as possible to individuals. I'm kind of the one that manages a lot of the back end business communication. And then you can always call 785-320-2636. and book a party over the phone. You can do it online. I've done it back in social media conversations. Really just any way that suits you for communication, we try our best to accommodate that. How can the Manhattan community support us? The biggest thing is spreading the word, coming and visiting us, buying a gift in our gift shop. That's one thing I didn't even think of, is we have a small gift shop with other small women business owners around our nation, which is what we also pride ourselves on. Sure. And so just supporting us just like you would a restaurant, or just like you would the grocery store. Stop in and share the word.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Okay, last one, and then we'll wrap up. Okay? Every entrepreneur out there, you've had your trials and tribulations, right? So we all go through those, we all have those. What is one last word, one last thing that you would like to give our viewers here?
Don't take no for an answer, and don't give up on your dream.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. You guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. I really do appreciate it. Kasey's fantastic. She's given you a lot of golden nuggets here today. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills. If you do enjoy this content, please go and hit that subscribe button. Go and hit that little bell so you get notified of our future content. And give us that like, because it does help the channel. If you know somebody or somebody interested in something like this, please share this video with them. Get them in touch with Kasey. Have them come in here, take a look at what they've got here at MHK Play, whatever that looks like, to get in here, see what they have, look at the space that they have, because you will not be disappointed. It is a fantastic venue, and they've got more stuff coming. So that's the best part. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you then.